There's a silent turning point that arrives at the doorstep of every life once the sixth decade begins. It's a biological fork in the road, one that either leads towards slow decline or quiet resurgence. For many, aging feels like a gradual surrender, slower steps, stiffer joints, forgotten names, and an inexplicable sense that vitality has slipped away. But what if this wasn't fate? What if after 60, your body is not shutting down, but simply waiting for you to switch it back on? And the truth is, we are not aging because we are getting older. We are aging because we are becoming inactive. Scientists now know that the body, even well into its 60s, 70s, and beyond, is still biologically capable of adaptation, repair, and renewal. And it does not require expensive therapies, complicated regimens, or extreme measures. It begins with movement, simple, intentional, healing movement. After 60, the body undergoes several hormonal, muscular, and neurological shifts. Muscle mass begins to decline, a condition called sarcopenia, which not only affects strength, but metabolism, posture, and balance. Bones become more porous, increasing the risk of fractures. Cortisol, the stress hormone, often remains elevated longer than it should, disrupting sleep and suppressing immune function. Melatonin production slows down, throwing off circadian rhythms. And the most vital systems, cardiovascular, neurological, lymphatic, all begin to lose efficiency. But all of these processes have one common denominator. They respond directly to physical movement. Exercise, when done wisely, becomes a form of natural medicine, not the kind that suppresses symptoms, but the kind that restores rhythms, balances hormones, and rewires the aging nervous system. The right exercises activate mitochondria, which are the energy powerhouses of your cells. They stimulate the release of myokines, anti-inflammatory molecules produced by muscle contractions that help regulate metabolism, reduce systemic inflammation, and support brain health. These are not just fitness facts. These are physiological truths that govern whether your body is spiraling into frailty or rising into renewal. But the window is narrow. After 60, every decade without movement results in accelerated loss. Muscle loss doubles. Balance deteriorates faster, falls become more likely and more dangerous. And even the brain begins to shrink in certain areas associated with memory, emotion, and movement. That's why this moment, right now, is not about vanity or appearance. It's about reclaiming the machinery of your biology before the rust becomes permanent. 3 simple exercises, just 3, when practiced daily, can slow, even reverse much of this trajectory. Not only do they improve physical strength, but they also stimulate key brain regions responsible for coordination, memory, and spatial awareness. They help restore sleep quality by rebalancing cortisol and melatonin rhythms. They boost circulation to the joints, organs, and brain, and they awaken the body's innate ability to heal, regulate, and rejuvenate. What's most remarkable is not that these exercises work, but that they work at this age. The same body that has endured decades of gravity, injury, and stress is still listening, still responding, still changing. We are not designed to decline after 60. We are designed to adapt. But adaptation requires activation. So let's reframe aging. It's not a sentence, it's a season. And like any season, it has its own rituals. Movement is one of them. Just as we brush our teeth or drink water in the morning, movement must become a daily act of self-preservation. Not for weight loss, not for looks, but for longevity, balance, and the preservation of independence. These next few minutes may introduce you to exercises so simple they might appear trivial. But beneath their simplicity lies something profound, a key to unlocking strength, stability, and resilience in a body that still has decades of life ahead. Because you don't stop moving when you grow old. You grow old when you stop moving. We have been taught to believe that aging is a disease, that stiff joints, forgetfulness, sleepless nights, and slower reflexes are all part of the natural decay of time. But biology tells another story, one that's far more empowering. Aging is not the problem. Inactivity is. The human body was engineered for movement. Bones are constantly reshaped by the stress we place on them. Muscles are maintained not by age, but by demand. Neurons fire new pathways in response to challenge and coordination. Even the heart, beating faithfully since before birth, relies on rhythm and activity to remain strong. When movement stops, every system begins to dim. Circulation slows, metabolism drops, lymph stagnates, and the immune system falters. And with each passing year of inactivity, the body forgets what it once knew. Science has uncovered that sedentary behavior is now among the top contributors to chronic disease, second only to smoking. In seniors over 60, it's directly linked to insulin resistance, high blood pressure, osteoporosis, cognitive decline, depression, and even certain cancers. But there's something even more unsettling. Inactivity doesn't just deteriorate the body, it disrupts the hormonal symphony that keeps us balanced. Cortisol, often referred to as the stress hormone, rises when we're inactive for long periods, especially if we're indoors, seated, or surrounded by artificial light. This elevated cortisol interferes with sleep, suppresses immunity, and promotes abdominal fat storage. Over time, it becomes harder to relax, harder to sleep, harder to think clearly. And then there's melatonin, the sleep hormone, whose production is impaired without daily exposure to daylight and physical movement. Without movement, the circadian rhythm loses its calibration. You begin to feel tired at the wrong times and wired when you should be resting. Even testosterone and estrogen, the vitality hormones, begin to dwindle faster in those who are inactive. In men, muscle loss and fat gain accelerate. In women, balance and bone density decline sharply. These are not the inevitable signs of aging. They are the symptoms of a body starved of stimulation. But the remedy is within reach. In fact, it's within the body itself. Movement triggers a cascade of natural healing responses. Blood flow increases, delivering oxygen and nutrients to tissues long neglected. Endorphins are released, brightening mood and relieving pain. Brain-defined neurotrophic factor, BDNF, kind of brain fertilizer, is released, improving memory and cognitive function, all from gentle daily physical movement. This is why even small doses of the right exercise can shift everything. A 5-minute chair squat routine can activate dozens of muscles, spike testosterone naturally, and support blood sugar control. A few sets of wall push-ups can improve lymph drainage and help regulate cortisol. A minute or two of balance training each day stimulates the vestibular system and helps prevent falls. One of the greatest risks to senior independence, inactivity, then, is not a neutral state. It is a silent saboteur. And aging does not bring frailty by default. It brings a crossroads, to engage or to decline. Movement is the body's way of choosing engagement, of choosing to live, not just exist. If there is one truth that wellness science and natural medicine now agree on, it is this: motion is life, and the absence of it is the slow rehearsal of death. But the body remembers, even after years of neglect. It remembers how to stand tall, how to balance, how to move with grace. It just needs a reason and a rhythm. And that's what you're about to discover. 3 movements that are more than exercise. They are a ritual, a reawakening, a signal to the body that says, we're not done yet. Strength is not just a luxury in your 60s and beyond, it is your foundation. Without it, getting out of bed becomes a task. Rising from a chair turns into a struggle. The small, ordinary moments that once went unnoticed begin to demand effort, breath, and sometimes fear. But the antidote is remarkably simple. It begins with the very motion many people take for granted, the act of standing up. The chair squat is more than an exercise. It is a rehearsal of independence. It activates the largest muscles in your body, glutes, quadriceps, hamstrings, and in doing so, it triggers a symphony of physiological benefits. These muscles are metabolically active. When they are engaged, they improve insulin sensitivity, regulate blood sugar, and support healthy weight. For seniors, this means reduced risk of type 2 diabetes and metabolic syndrome, conditions that often creep in silently with age. But the benefits go deeper. With every controlled descent and rise, you're not just strengthening muscle, you're stabilizing joints, improving bone density, and enhancing blood circulation to the hips and knees. In women, this translates into a direct defense against osteoporosis. In men, the exertion stimulates natural testosterone production. a hormone that governs energy, confidence, and vitality. And for both, it trains the nervous system to coordinate muscle firing, joint stability, and spatial awareness. These are not fitness perks. They are your insurance policy against falls, hospitalizations, and immobility. Science has shown that the chair squat mimics the sit to stand movement, one of the most essential motions for independence. It's the difference between living freely and needing help for daily functions. And because it's weight bearing, it communicates with the bones in a very specific language: stress. Not the harmful kind, but the mechanical load that signals bone tissue to regenerate, to harden, to strengthen, especially in the hips and spine, where fragility becomes dangerous after 60. And yet, the beauty of this movement lies in its accessibility. No gym, no trainer, just a sturdy chair and your own body weight. Begin seated, feet flat on the floor, back straight. Inhale. As you exhale, press your heels into the ground and rise slowly to a standing position. Engage your core. Don't rush. Feel the movement as a controlled transfer of energy. Then lower yourself back down slowly and gently until you are seated again. This is 1 rep, 5 to 10 reps in the morning, 5 in the evening. That's it. The chair squat becomes a morning declaration. I choose strength. It becomes an evening ritual. I honor mobility. And because movement is tied to breath, you're also training your lungs and calming your nervous system. Exhaling as you rise lowers intrathoracic pressure, reducing strain on the heart. This isn't just exercise, it's circulatory therapy done quietly in your own home. And there's more. With repetition, this motion helps regulate the hypothalamic pituitary adrenal, HPA, axis, the hormonal pathway that governs your stress response. Regular practice has been shown to reduce cortisol levels, improving sleep quality, and decreasing systemic inflammation. In a single movement, you're not only building muscle, you're restoring endocrine harmony. There is no pill that can replicate the benefits of the chair squat. No supplement that can mimic its effects on balance, hormone health, and muscular regeneration. It is your body healing itself through use. So the next time you stand from a chair, don't see it as routine. See it as resistance, as renewal, as a signal to your cells that you are not fading, you are firing up, because aging is not the end of strength. It is the rediscovery of it. Strength is not confined to the legs. The arms, shoulders, chest, and upper back form a crucial scaffolding for daily life. They allow you to lift, reach, pull, stabilize, and embrace. But with age, these areas weaken quickly. Posture slumps, shoulders tighten, the ability to push oneself up from bed or protect a fall diminishes. And yet again, the solution is not far. It lives in a wall, any wall, right where you are. The wall push-up is more than a modified upper body exercise. It is a potent hormonal regulator. It trains the muscles of the arms and chest, yes, but it also massages the lymphatic system, promotes circulation, and calms the nervous system. Unlike traditional floor push-ups, which may strain the joints of the wrist or shoulders in older adults, the wall push-up offers a forgiving alternative with tremendous return. Upper body strength plays a hidden but vital role in hormonal health. When these muscles contract, they release myokines, signaling molecules that communicate directly with endocrine organs. These molecules lower systemic inflammation, improve insulin sensitivity, and gently stimulate the thyroid gland. For postmenopausal women and aging men alike, this means steadier energy, improved mood, and better metabolic regulation. And because this movement requires posture control, it brings the spine back into alignment, a key for adrenal support and hormonal balance. There's also the effect on cortisol. Elevated cortisol levels in seniors are linked to disrupted sleep, cognitive fog, belly fat, and immune suppression. Rhythmic controlled wall push-ups reduce sympathetic nervous system activation, shifting the body out of stress mode. When performed with nasal breathing, this movement becomes a parasympathetic ritual, one that tells your body you are safe. Over time, this improves sleep onset, emotional regulation, and morning alertness. To begin, stand at arm's length from a wall. Place your palms flat on the surface, shoulder mitts apart, fingers pointing upward. Your feet remain grounded, heels slightly elevated if needed. Engage your core. Inhale as you lower your body toward the wall, elbows bending gently at your sides. Feel the chest and shoulders stretch and activate. Then exhale slowly as you push back to the starting position. Aim for 10 to 15 reps in a smooth, continuous rhythm. The movement should feel deliberate, like a wave returning to sea. Each repetition strengthens not just muscle fibers, but proprioception, the brain's awareness of body position. As we age, this internal compass dulls, making us more susceptible to falls, injuries, and spatial disorientation. Wall push-ups restore it. They retrain the connection between the brain and the body. Every push is a neurological reminder this body still knows where it is in space. And what about the heart? Gentle upper HAMI resistance training increases stroke volume, the amount of blood pumped per beat, improving cardiovascular efficiency. Blood pressure regulation improves, oxygenation improves, the entire circulatory system receives a signal to optimize. There is also a subtle benefit that's easily overlooked: posture. With each wall push-up, the chest opens, the shoulders retract, the spine aligns. Over time, this undoes decades of slouching, desk work, and forward head posture. The result? Deeper breathing, better digestion, and improved mood, all linked, all responsive to movement. This is why natural medicine has always included breath-length motion in its healing traditions. Tai Chi, Qigong, yoga. These are not ancient relics. They are time-tested expressions of what we are rediscovering now in modern science. That slow, intentional movement regulates not only muscles, but hormones and nervous systems alike. While push-ups are humble, they require no gym, no trainer, no audience. But behind their simplicity lies profound biological activation. They restore the arms that lift, the heart that pumps, the posture that breathes confidence, and they bring you closer to that natural rhythm your body longs to reclaim. A few minutes each day against the wall becomes a statement of strength, of balance, of hormonal harmony, because aging is not a breakdown, it is a recalibration, and you are still in command. Balance is one of the quiet faculties we don't notice until it's gone. It governs how we walk, turn, rise, and carry ourselves through space. Yet, as we age, balance becomes the first ability to fade and the most dangerous to lose. A single fall can fracture a hip, steal independence, and initiate a cascade of physical and emotional decline. But balance is not a gift we lose with time. It's a skill we can retrain, even in our 60s, 70s, and beyond. The balance stand is perhaps the most underestimated exercise in the senior toolkit. It looks simple, standing on one leg, but beneath that simplicity lies a neurological symphony. The moment you lift one foot off the ground, dozens of muscles engage, from the tiny stabilizers in your ankle to the deep core muscles near your spine. More importantly, your brain lights up. The cerebellum, the region responsible for coordination and motor learning, becomes fully engaged. Neural circuits fire and rewire, adapting and correcting in real time. This is neuroplasticity in motion. The brain's ability to reorganize and grow stronger through challenge. In aging adults, this is a gift. Neuroplasticity declines with disuse, not age. The less we move, the less the brain needs to adapt. But when we introduce balance training, especially daily, we stimulate this incredible feature of the nervous system. Studies show that balance exercises improve cognitive function, spatial memory, and even emotional regulation, because the same parts of the brain that handle movement also govern decision-making, focus, and mood. Then there is the hormonal cascade. Standing on one leg triggers microadjustments in muscle and joint, which enhance proprioception, the body's ability to know where it is in space. This reduces fall risk and increases confidence in everyday movements. But even more, it sends signals through the vagus nerve, calming the fight or flight response, lowering cortisol, and supporting parasympathetic balance. This calms the heart, eases digestion, and improves sleep onset. In essence, balance practice is a full body recalibration from the feet to the brain to the glands. The movement is elegant in its simplicity. Stand near a wall or sturdy surface for safety. Ground your standing foot firmly into the earth. Slowly lift the opposite foot, bringing your knees slightly upward or simply hovering the toes above the floor. Hold this position. Start with 10 seconds. Build toward 30. Switch legs. Repeat. As you improve, close your eyes for a moment or try it barefoot. Barefoot standing activates the plantar nerves and strengthens the arches, improving foot health and reconnecting you to the Earth's electromagnetic field, a concept known in natural wellness as grounding. Now, balance training also restores postural reflexes. These are the body's built-in safety systems, the tiny, fast contractions that catch you when you trip or slip. As we age, these reflexes slow, but they never disappear. They just need practice. Balance stand gives them that practice. It teaches your body to respond, recover, and remain upright. One overlooked benefit of this exercise is how it affects confidence. When you feel balanced in your body, you feel centered in your mind. Anxiety decreases. Fear of falling diminishes. You move through the world with greater ease and less hesitation. This is not just physical, it's emotional and psychological resilience woven together. The balance stand is not flashy. It doesn't raise your heart rate or build bulk, but it quietly fortifies the foundations of longevity. It sharpens the mind, centers the spirit, and protects the body from the most common threat of old age, instability. Practiced daily, it becomes more than an exercise. It becomes a meditation in motion, a stillness that trains strength, a pause that prevents catastrophe, and perhaps most importantly, it becomes a quiet declaration. I am grounded. I am aware. I am still evolving. The true power of movement does not lie in its intensity, but in its consistency. It is not the grand gestures or occasional workouts that shape longevity. It is the quiet, repeated acts woven into the fabric of daily life. At this stage in life, your body is not asking for marathons. It's asking for rhythm, for ritual, for reminder. The human body was not designed for long bouts of stillness. It was designed to move in pulses throughout the day. Brief stretches of effort, recovery, balance, and breath. This is how circulation flows, lymph drains, hormones regulate, and joints lubricate. When movement becomes a natural part of your environment, not a scheduled event, it reawakens systems that have been dormant for years. You don't need a gym or a special time. Movement hides in plain sight. Do chair squats while brushing your teeth or waiting for the kettle to boil. They take less than a minute, but fire up your largest muscle groups, improving metabolism and postural control. While waiting for the microwave or standing in line, place your palms against the wall and perform a few gentle push-ups. These tiny moments restore upper body strength, regulate breathing, and activate the vagus nerve, calming the nervous system. Balance training fits seamlessly into the spaces between. Stand on one leg while you talk on the phone. Do it while brushing your hair, waiting for your bath to fill, or even when folding laundry. The point is not to find time, but to inhabit time. Movement isn't an event, it's a way of being present in the body. This is how we reintroduce what modern life has taken away. Our ancestors didn't need workouts. Their daily rituals, tending to land, walking long distances, squatting, lifting, kept their biology tuned. Today, we must reclaim this natural movement, not through strain, but through subtle insertion. 5 minutes of mindful effort, repeated 3 or 4 times throughout the day, offers more healing than a single burst of activity wrapped in sedentary hours. There is also a deeper intelligence in spreading movement across your day. Hormones follow rhythms, diurnal cycles governed by light, temperature, and activity. Cortisol, your waking hormone, peaks in the early morning. A few minutes of strength training at this time supports the natural curve of energy, sharpening mental clarity and stabilizing blood sugar. In the afternoon, your body begins to shift gears, preparing for rest. Gentle movements here, like balance training or deep breathing, wall push-ups, help discharge residual tension from the nervous system. They lower cortisol and reduce the evening crash. In the evening, a short routine of stretching or breathing before bed can enhance melatonin production and deepen your sleep window. This is how movement becomes medicine, not by volume, but by timing. When you move in sync with your body's internal clock, you don't just feel better, you function better. Organs coordinate, hormones align, energy stabilizes, and a deep sense of coherence returns. But the real reward of integrating movement is that it changes your identity. You stop seeing yourself as someone trying to stay healthy. You become someone who is healthy, who breathes deeply, moves daily, and honors the body as a living temple. This shift is subtle but profound. You don't just do the exercises, you become the person who never stopped moving. You don't need reminders. When something becomes part of who you are, it becomes like brushing your teeth, like making your bed, a quiet, non-negotiable act of care, a message to your body that says, I'm here, I'm present, I'm still growing. There is a rhythm beneath everything you do, a silent clock ticking inside every cell, every hormone, every breath. It governs your sleep, your hunger, your mood, your healing. This internal timing system, your circadian rhythm, is more than just a sleep-wake cycle. It is the conductor of your biology, the invisible thread that binds movement, metabolism, hormones, and repair into one harmonious whole. And like any symphony, timing is everything. When you move in alignment with your body's natural circadian flow, every benefit of exercise multiplies. Hormones don't work in isolation, they dance in cycles. And each cycle presents a window of opportunity to heal, grow, and restore. This is why two people can do the same exercise with completely different outcomes. The difference isn't just what they do, it's when they do it. Cortisol, your natural energizer, rises with the sun. It's highest in the morning around 7 to 9 a.m., giving you the alertness and readiness to face the day. Light exercise during this window, such as squats or brisk walking, supports that cortisol peak. Instead of fighting stress, you align with it. You give the body a reason to use that hormonal surge constructively. Morning movement improves mental clarity, stabilizes blood sugar, and sets the tone for metabolism for the next 12 hours. Midday brings another shift around 2 to 4 p.m. Body temperature rises, reaction time sharpens, and muscular performance peaks. This is an ideal time for strength-based movement. Wall push-ups, for example, or a series of chair squats with deeper breathing. Here, testosterone and growth hormone respond more readily, especially when paired with short bouts of resistance. For seniors, this means stronger muscles, better recovery, and more effective fat burning without needing intense effort. But perhaps the most neglected window is the evening, when movement should be gentle, grounding, and slow. As the sun dips and melatonin production begins, your body is preparing for repair. A few minutes of balance training or light stretching can help flush residual cortisol, calm the nervous system, and promote melatonin release. This in turn improves sleep depth, reduces nighttime awakenings, and supports overnight regeneration. It's not just about resting muscles. It's about telling the body the work is done, it's safe to let go. When you train your movement to follow this circadian choreography, your body doesn't resist, it responds. Hormones stop conflicting and start cooperating. Sleep improves. Digestion regulates. Energy becomes steady instead of spiking and crashing. Even inflammation lowers because the immune system, too, follows this same rhythm. Modern science is just beginning to grasp what ancient traditions have long known, that timing is medicine, that the morning sun, the midday fire, and the evening stillness each carry a different kind of wisdom, and your body, when given the right cues, listens. You don't need a clock or calendar to do this. Just pay attention. Are you groggy in the morning? Try a short walk in the daylight followed by chair squats. Do you feel heavy in the afternoon? Add 2 sets of wall push-ups to reset your focus. Trouble sleeping? A few balance holds by your bedside may calm your thoughts more than any pill. This isn't a workout plan, it's a return to rhythm, a remembering of what your biology already knows, that movement is not just physical, it is hormonal, neurological, emotional. Every hour holds an opportunity not to exhaust the body, but to align with it, to match its natural pulse. And in doing so, to age not in fear or fragility, but with precision, grace, and power. Your body is not broken, it is not too late, and you are not beyond the reach of renewal. These are not motivational phrases, they are biological truths. Because the science is clear, even after 60, even after 70, the human body retains the power to rebuild, to balance, and to thrive. The only thing it asks for is movement, but not movement for vanity, not for weight loss or for numbers on a chart. The kind of movement we're speaking of is sacred. It's the movement that preserves dignity, restores balance, protects independence. It's the simple act of standing, pushing, and grounding your feet into the earth with purpose. It's reminding your muscles what strength feels like, reminding your bones what bearing weight means, reminding your brain that it is still alive, still growing, still learning. These three exercises, the chair squat, the wall push-up, and the balance stand, are not just techniques, they are invitations. Invitations to wake up the systems that have been waiting, to rejoin your body's own healing intelligence, to return to rhythm. You don't need to do them perfectly. You don't need to do them for long. You just need to do them daily. They are your entry point, your anchor, your reset. Because when you move, you heal. When you move, your blood flows, your hormones recalibrate, your nerves fire more cleanly, your thoughts slow down. When you move, your body remembers what it was made for. And when you stay consistent, even for a few minutes a day, you trigger a cascade of benefits no pill can replicate. Better sleep, better focus, better posture, steadier mood, stronger immunity. And something else happens, something deeper. You stop seeing aging as a slow unraveling. You begin to see it for what it truly is. A season of refinement, of mastery, of grace. A time to care for the vessel that has carried you this far and will carry you even farther if you nourish it wisely. So let this be the day you draw the line between passive aging and active living, between decline and defiance. Stand up, push forward, find your balance, and then do it again tomorrow. Because you don't need to be younger, you just need to move with intention. And the body will respond, not with youth, but with vitality. Not with speed, but with strength. Not with noise, but with the quiet confidence of someone who has chosen to thrive. This isn't the end of your health story. It's the beginning of your new rhythm. Now is the time to move. Now is the time to heal. Now is the time to thrive.